Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today with day three of my, nope, day two, video 3 of my 2017 December daily album. And these photos are of us trimming the tree, which we do normally on the day after Thanksgiving, but this year we did it on the day after Thanksgiving. And I got some really great photos, so I have a lot of photos to include in this spread. So in order to do that effectively, I am going to create one pocket insert with two 4x6s, and then I'm going to have this vertical 4x6 in the center, and then I have two back-to-back 6x8 photos, and then finally all of the photos of our ornaments and some silly outtakes of us decorating the tree, or of the boys decorating the tree, I'm going to make a 2x2 pocket page out of. So I don't have any 2x2 pocket pages, so I'm just going to use my fuse tool and make it. Too lazy to hop onto Amazon and buy it and then wait for it to show up, so I'm just going to make my own. That's what I bought the fuse tool for, isn't it? So the first thing that I'm doing is creating my paper border to punch holes in for this insert. And then on one side is going to be the 4x6 photo, and on the other side is going to be this card that says, "It's not what's under the tree that matters, but who gathers around it," which I thought is the perfect sentiment for these photos of decorating the Christmas tree. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a pocket out of these two, out of the card and the photo back to back, so that I can stick that number 2 tag inside the pocket with a journal card stuck to the back of it for my journaling. Sorry, I am sick, so my brain is not functioning very well, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. Those number 2, they're actually a bunch of numbered cards, came from old Studio Calico stuff that I've never used before. I probably bought them for December Daily many years ago and then never used them. So I'm going to try and use some of them this month for my December Daily. So I'm going to adhere this card that I cut from the cut apart sheet to the back of that number 2. And then I'm going to trim the edges because the number 2 is curved, so I'm going to curve the edges of the journaling card, and then I will poke a hole through the top of it and put some twine through it because it is a tag, and that'll make it easier to pull it in and out of the pocket I created. So I'm not one to shy away from using a lot of photos in my December Daily. I know that a lot of people keep it really simple and choose like one photo for an event, their favorite photo, or just try and keep it minimalistic, and that's just not who I am. If I'm going to scrapbook an entire album about Christmas, then you're going to be sure that it's going to include all of my favorite photos of Christmas and not just my most favorite photo of each event. So my December Daily albums tend to be pretty thick when I'm doing them in process during the month of December and not going back to them, and I love it that way. I really appreciate going back through them and seeing all of the lovely photos and all of the lovely memories. So I got to find ways to incorporate photos without making it like super just slip them in pockets repetitive. So that's what I'm doing with this spread. So now I have to create another border sticking out to punch holes in, because as I've said repeatedly now, I don't like punching holes in photos, so I like creating a little paper border to do that. And I didn't love the way that on the other side of the photo, that one, I didn't love the border between the photo and the green strip, so I'm just going to add some washi tape right over the edge to kind of keep them together. It was like coming apart a little bit, and instead of just fighting with the tape runner, I'm just gonna put some of this pretty washi I designed over it. I always have a hard time incorporating washi into my albums, so this was a good way to start that process and get some of that washi in there. Okay, so now that I've got the basis of this spread put together, I'm going to start building my 2x2 pocket page. And I already have my photos cut out. And I'm going to use photos. I'm going to use 2x2 cards from the Very Merry collection. And I'm also going to create a couple see-through sort of shaker pockets. I've said before that I hate having one side of the spread be, you know, finished and completed, and then when you flip the page, you see the back of that design. So I'm going to design this spread in a way that it is double-sided and there's no back side of the page. You don't ever see the back of the photo. Nothing looks wrong from either side of the page. And it takes a little bit of extra work, I think, but I really like the way that it turns out. So here is going to be the placement of my photos. So I pulled out the 2x2 cards, and I'm just going to make sure that I am placing them basically on the back of a photo, or that they are double-sided themselves. So the way that it works is the outside corners line up and the inside corners line up, so it's like a mirror image of itself. So that Deck the Halls will be backed with the heart, and that Merry and Bright will be backed with that ornament photo. So I'm just trying to keep that straight in my head. This ho 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 is going to be the back of that foil tree ornament that one of my kids made. That no peeking and that present will be back to back. So now I need one for the reindeer, and I need one for that pink ornament. So there's the reindeer. And then I didn't have any that worked right and had a saying. All I had left was like bah humbug. So I'm going to add a die cut to that one and decorate it a little bit more. So all of the empty pockets now are going to have like shaker pockets. So I'm going to start adding in like trees and glitter and all that. Voila. This one, I had two of the same size chipboard flags, and so I'm adhering them back to back. Yeah, I like the way that looks. And then I'm going to put, these are old Simple Stories stickers, and I'm going to put one on each side. Yay, I really like the way that looks. I'm going to replace one of those green trees with one of the light kind of lime green trees in here instead. And then I'm going to start the process of building the pocket page. So I have to adhere all of these back to back with each other. First I got to pick out my die cut. I decided to go with a hot cocoa because we were drinking hot cocoa while we were decorating the tree. And I'm going to start gluing these all back to back so that they don't slide around in the pocket and I don't confuse them when I'm trying to get them together in the pocket pages. Because I'm building my own pocket page, I have to start from the bottom, and I have to be really meticulous and plan out how I put it together because I'm sealing all the pockets after I put things in them. So I really want to make this as easy on myself as possible. No peeking goes behind that present. And I really like the color balance of how this worked out on both sides of the spread. And of course, when I'm putting it together, I mess it up a little bit, and the present and the no peeking get reversed, so I have to rearrange just a little bit to make the color balance work again, and the word balance. That was the problem. I had no peeking on this side again with the Deck the Halls and the Merry and the Bright. So all the words were on one side and all the icons were on the other side, and that was really annoying. So I'm just going to put these all the way at the bottom, and then I'm going to use my fuse tool and just draw lines right in between the pockets and seal them in there. And I'm going to spare you this entire process because it did take me a really long time to get this right. But you can see the gist of it. Next, I'm going to start building the next row and blah, blah, blah until I get all the way to the top. And then I have to seal that top pocket after I get everything shoved in there. The problem with working with such dimensional stuff in these pockets is that it's hard to seal afterwards. So I have to push it all the way down in there so that I can get a nice tight lock on the top of this pocket. And there we go. It's all sealed up. It looks great on both sides, and I love it. So I took pictures of special ornaments that ended up on our tree. We don't normally, well, at least we don't every year decorate the tree with the homemade ornaments and the family ornaments. Some years we have themed trees, some years we have pretty trees. But this year I thought, since we were in a new state and building new traditions, that we would put the family ornaments on the tree and make it like a really bright and fun tree. So I bought pink and teal and red and purple ornaments, and we put all the family ornaments on the tree. So I took photos of some of the more special ornaments and singled them out in the 2x2 pockets. And then I'm just going to lightly embellish the rest of the spread. I found this Holly Jolly die cut, and I thought it would be a good flipper for this photo. Although going back, if I could change it, I would have put it a little bit lower on the photo because I wasn't thinking about the spread before it that also has a flipper right at the same height. I guess that's my go-to place to put a flip. So I put Holly Jolly on one side and Be Merry on the other. And I'm going to put this little die cut that says Silly Elf. Fun fact about that fa la 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 he's holding up. It's from a set of photo booth props that I actually printed when I was pregnant with him, and he found them in the Christmas stuff and was holding them up and wanting me to take pictures of him with them. And it was just so funny and like almost surreal having him playing with these things that I had printed and posed with when I was pregnant with him, and now here he is holding them up and playing with them. That whole circle of life thing, you know. All right, so I'm getting close to done here. I think I'm going to, I needed to add just a little bit more texture, so I added some more puffy stickers. I think I'm going to be just about done, and I'm going to put this in my album. But I felt like this photo could use a little something something. So I got out the fa la 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 die cuts, and I found a gold sort of snowflake burst looking thing that looked really great up there next to the Holly Jolly. There it is. Kind of adds to the sparkly effect of decorating the tree. And there we go. That was the last touch. So now I'm going to put it in my album, and I'll flip through it so that you can see how it comes together. I had that extra photo right there of Karsten in the pocket, but it's not a great photo, and he was kind of being a goofball. So I'm just going to tuck it and leave it in the pocket as kind of like just a hidden photo. I'm not even going to bother with like a flip pocket for it. but it's in there. And I need to add my journaling to this tag, not that tag. I was just making sure that my holly jolly didn't stick out too much. I'm gonna add my journaling to this tag, and I'm gonna call it Golden. So here is the flip through of the album and how it goes together. And then the stills are coming up. If you enjoyed this video and like this layout, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I bring inspiration on the daily, and I'd love to have you. Thank you.